It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you'd put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Wow, that's cool. Immediately start with no pictures. There we go. Welcome back to the Resupply with me, GuyNextDoor.
Me, DK.
Why the fuck did that happen? That's weird. Bringing you your weekly technical issues and Laser Force double tap, all things Space Marines and Laser Force and technical issues and blah blah blah. Nailed that fucking intro. Goodness me.
Sure did. It was the best one yet.
Shadows in the Dark. Exactly right. Smalley, thank you very much for that sub. 8 months. What a legend. That's awesome. One of the absolute legends. And Morgan for 3
Would
months.
put up with us for 8 months.
You guys are pretty stellar.
Total insanity.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. It's wicked. Hey man, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm surviving. Surviving.
Cheers.
Just over here, hoping that I can go get poked in the arm sometime soon. for a vaccine, not for just like funsies.
Not for for junky reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Signed up for
Singe
your vaccine.
dupe.
Yeah, Singe dupe for your
I'm glad he's
vaccine
Singe duped
today.
He's Singe duped.
You got a loophole?
Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to be in the next tier as an educator for doing that. But yeah, it would be nice because I would really like to be able to free up my conscience, get vaccinated, go to Utah. I know they're having all of this like talk about people worried about side effects and whatnot. I'm like, guys, I don't care if the side effects include my asshole is gonna itch for 7 months and I'm gonna grow a third testicle out of my chin. Just give me the fucking vaccine so I can go do some shit.
Why do you think I have this bad boy in preparation
Oh,
for
okay.
that? Yeah.
Oh, so you were in the test group.
Yeah, testy
Excellent.
group.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
exactly. I already look like I got
Pfizer or Moderna?
pubes on my face.
So I could live with that. I could live with that.
Yeah, exactly right. People may not want to play with you going forward. No, I'm sure Laser Force, it's always dark. You get away with a lot of things in the dark. Ooh, wish I could have that sentence back. Moving right along.
This is the problem with doing it live.
So speaking of fucking health stuff, I thought I'd do a quick update because I put a somewhat odd post up in the Discord earlier this week. I thought I'd clear up any rumors just in case people thought that I had gotten COVID or something. You're only gonna get maybe headaches, sore arm. Quotes channel needed. Yeah, actually, Matt, if you're around, I suppose that's what the clips thing is for. But Matt, if you're around,
No, don't encourage this behavior. Just,
actually, that's right. Yeah, don't make it live forever. Yeah.
just tell your story.
So this week, I've had a history of like these really dumb, I don't even know what they are, but like stomach acid attacks. And they get real bad. They were real bad. That they bad enough to put me in the hospital. If anyone was at Detroit, you'll know that I ended up going to hospital in Detroit because of it. I had a couple of it all kind of started just before Brisbane Nats 2018. And I went through about 18 months of terrible hospital visits, probably averaging like once a month or once every 3 weeks or something. Anyway, I hadn't had one for about a year, and had eaten terribly last week. I wasn't sticking to my fast. I had like I had KFC, which was terrible.
Oh, there it is. I could put anyone in the hospital.
Yeah, exactly right. And so basically, I ended up having this like fucking attack on Monday, and it put me in the hospital. I Ubered I Ubered to the hospital at about 2 a.m. and was there until about 6 in the morning. So it was
because I wasn't there to give you $10 milk from the minibar.
Is that how much it cost?
I don't know. I think the milk was actually free. I think we checked after that. I was like, oh yeah, the milk is free. Everything else is like $10.
Dave,
it's like, whoo.
could you give me some milk, please? Yeah, because that fucking helps. So yeah, just to clear it up, I feel better now. Stomach's been like, I always get real nervous after it happens. So yeah, it's been a rough few days, but I feel relatively good now. Hopefully, I can stay out of hospital. That'd be kind of nice. I don't really want to start this whole thing over again. But while I'm there, maybe they can.
We don't want you to be guy next bed.
That's right. Patient next door. So yeah, that happened. But I am feeling good. I am feeling better. Also, speaking of feeling better, fuck, it's segueing all over the place today. If you guys haven't heard, GuyNextDoor, that's probably, I think that might be the winner. Has any doctor ever suggested looking at autoimmune diseases? It's not lupus, alright? But no, I should probably ask them. They were all fairly shit. They were like, it's definitely your gallbladder, and I was like, it's definitely not. And they're like, nah, it definitely is. But anyway, I put a link.
It could be your colon. I'd want to get in there and find some answers.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Talking about having an itchy asshole for 7 months. He's gone fishing, folks. So I put a link in the chat. We are helping our boy Ninja Jack raise funds for the Mental Health Foundation of New Zealand. If you want to help him reach his target of $1,000, please go to that link and donate if you can. Tomorrow we've been playing. Obviously, we play D&D. We play a little bit of D&D on this channel. And for last episode and tomorrow's episode, for any Nat 1 or Nat 20 that we roll during the sessions, the the 5 of us are donating $2 a roll. Is that right?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Donate what you feel. What you feel comfortable contributing to the cause.
That's right. We'll do it. Yeah, okay. Ducky's giving us the word.
I mean, you guys are using your fancy down under currency. Yeah, maybe you can only afford $1 up here. That's as good as like 5 of your dollars.
Exactly right. I know there's a few people in the community that are playing along with that. If you want to do that, come join us tomorrow on D&D. Do we accept at GME? Fucker, yeah, we do. If you want to donate that to me personally, I will see that it goes to the right places. Matt, small distraction. It's so close to being a baby. 8 to 9 months. Donate to Nate. You're on an 8-month streak. Thank you very much for the sub, bro. Appreciate it. COVID dollars are worth less, DK. Just FYI.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I have no response to that.
If you don't have the time to hang around all 50 hours of our D&D stream, feel free to join us towards the end, because we'll probably do a total of how many we rolled, and that'll give you the amount to donate. When you donate, just put like hashtag #nat1 #nat20 so that he knows that it's come that you're donating because of the D&D rolls. It'd be mighty fine of you. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we bring in our guest today, DK?
Be rude and keep the man waiting.
Yeah, let's bring him in. Hang on a sec. Let me just switch to which one is it? This one. Boom.
Yeah, surprise! It's you, Russ.
You there? Are you there, Rusty?
Get your ass in here.
Oh my god, it's Hoodlum.
So this man apparently is adverse to webcams. He reckons that they're on a downward trend. So I've just raided his Facebook page for a photo. Any photo I could find with the two of us together. That was the best one.
Everybody short Logitech. The webcams
There was
are
definitely
out.
more than just that.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just about 5 minutes before it got dark, and this would have needed a flash to take this photo from memory.
Yeah, this was the awards dinner, right? 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barbecue on the river,
Good times.
Yeah, in
Good
winter.
times.
Yeah.
enjoying that Brisbane sunset
Fucking nailed
in
it.
the middle of winter.
On a barbecue that barely got above, like, boiling point.
There was a river.
Yes, there was a river. I actually enjoyed the river quite a bit.
I don't
Yeah, it was.
recall.
There was a river.
Was there?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you
sure.
had to go like past the trees and that other.
Look,
space.
if
You
you
know,
if
right-
you were
right over
looking
there,
through
over
your
there.
phone, you could probably see it. Anyway, hey, that was a couple of things about what you were talking about. How good was it that you had travel insurance in Detroit?
Oh, well, actually, I shouldn't say it in a public forum. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Yeah,
after.
okay.
Yeah.
And
Resupply is not legally liable for anything that may happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And hey, if you have those issues with the vaccine, DK, let us know. Because I will get a different vaccine for sure.
I hear
It'll be fine.
they're developing one from scratch in Canada. That's the word on the street.
Is
It's
it made of like moose blood or something?
well, no, poutine is what it is.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Right to
Better
the
cure
veins.
anything.
Fuck yeah. It's probably not going to help, but then at least you have poutine. And who doesn't love poutine? Funny you should say that, Stallion. Anyone who travels to the US at any time without travel insurance is asking for it. They sure are.
They are. They are.
I usually just
2010.
go to the grocery store, to be honest.
Yeah. Look, I feel bad for you and your country. Less bad
You
now,
should.
but
You
I
should
still
feel
feel
bad
bad,
for me and my country.
and a lot of the people in it, but not everybody. You guys have some fucking morons.
It's
A couple. Only like 74 million. That's not
A
that
significant
many. Don't worry about it.
percentage of America.
that's not too much bigger than New Zealand. For those of you who aren't familiar with Rusty, and I think there might only be like one of you. I'm looking at you, Brian, man.
What do you live under a rock or something?
So Bry actually is Steve Gibbs' brother, and has come to us through a different pathway than Laser Force. So Rusty is basically Laser Force God. Is how he
the kids say he's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal. But he wouldn't tell you that. He would. Well, maybe he would. Would you tell people that you're basically Laser Force God?
No,
Yeah.
subject to open to interpretation or opinion.
Well, let me put it this way: we did a pod a little while ago, which was the greatest of all time draft, and I'm fairly certain you got picked number 1. If memory serves, yeah. So the final word when it comes to skill levels lies with us here on the Resupply, because we're so knowledgeable.
I wish all I'll say is I wish I was 28 again.
Yeah, me too.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Yeah.
Pre-hospital visits, that would have been great.
I would be fine knowing what I know now, but yes, I would like my 28-year-old body back.
Russell, he hasn't even played 8,000 games yet. Weak.
Well, thanks, mate. Well, hey, I think 6 years to get to 10,000 is a bit ambitious.
We get 6 more years out of Rusty, so there you go. You know he's not going to quit before then.
Bro, if Traj is still cranking, I mean, your knees
well,
are still good.
I think I'm like 140 games ahead of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, he got scammed out of some Browns Plains games, and it came up when I made a post about hitting 7,000 a couple of years ago, and he's like, "Oh, I wish my games hadn't been deleted." I'm like, I would have just played more on the weekends if I needed to.
When people bitch about games that got deleted, like, geez, how much can you be up your own asshole anyway?
Yeah, you guys not only don't have a site, but you did have a significant amount of games disappear into
not according to Than. Than's like, oh, it was only like 500 games, right? Fuck you, man.
No, I feel like the number does go down every time they bring it up.
Yeah, it was only 1. It's okay.
Don't worry about it.
We'll get Chris to add that one for you.
Yeah, just like get him to log a bunch of random games and really boost those numbers up. I mean, that counts, right?
Should.
Legend has it he was given the power of Laser Force gods placed on this earth to kick everyone's ass. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's the intro for Hercules, if I remember correctly. Kevin Sorbo.
You're very knowledgeable.
That's right. That wasn't me, by the way. It wasn't me. Yeah, so we were talking. I don't know if it called. I can't imagine that you watch this shit. We
sometimes.
The only legit review of our show I've heard so far.
Yeah. Rusty and Kevin Saw were both with both big MAGA guys. Good lord, disappointed. Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo actually is, unfortunately.
Is he really?
Oh, he's super right wing.
Does he still live down here? I can't imagine.
Fucked if I know.
Can't imagine. So last week we were talking about nothing really, but like I
feel like talking is overselling it.
We were trying to talk about the base updates and how
I did hear about this from a third party.
Yeah.
Trying to talk about it, and then things happened.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site.
Carry on.
So we got distracted. I was having all sorts of problems focusing last week. But we figured we were gonna talk about that, and I'd asked you if you wanted to come on and like clarify the random horse shit that we were making up. And give your like opinion on how the new changes and stuff, sort of play and what your thoughts were. And then because of all the sidetracking that happened, we didn't really like talk about it really. Like we did, but we didn't. So it kind of worked out all right. But I figured
previewed the topic to have an expert on.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we figured we'd have a yarn and see what your thoughts were, and if you could give us the lowdown on how it kind of works, and yeah.
Well, like most things, Chris doesn't tell us that that it's happened. And it was funny too because we had just tried the thing that we'll talk about in the next topic, played that, and I was sitting out the first game of Space Marines.
Yeah.
And something happened. I didn't know what it was, and Chris just ran into the field, but he wouldn't tell me why he was going in there. So then, he told everybody the next game. So it's basically if someone's resupply dies, and we had to figure this out as we went along a little bit. A beacon activated under the blue tower with that team's resupply that was dead essentially, right? So if you lose your ammo early, well, this beacon will essentially activate for that particular resupply for that team. So you can run under the base or the beacon. Now you can't shoot it, and it's on a 30-second timer. So if no one's got it for 30 seconds and you run in, you're on the red team because your ammo's dead, it'll give you shots, and then 30 seconds is the cooldown for that. So you could literally stand there like a dumbass for 30 seconds, but you would get more shots.
Distraction is brought
So
to you by
it was a bit of
Ginger
trial and error to
Ninjas for
figure out the
mental
benefits
health.
of
Donate
it, because we had a
today.
couple of games where people had died in the first week, and we didn't know that everyone couldn't get one every 30 seconds. We didn't realize it was just for one person.
Right.
So then it was like, oh shit. If one person's low on shots and you need shots and someone's trying to defend the beacon, you got to shoot your way and hopefully get the beacon. But then I forgot that, hey, what if their resupply's dead? They're stealing that 30-second timer. So then, there was a couple of times I'm standing there because I'd managed to get in and shoot people, and I'm standing there, and Chris is standing there watching me. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Because I'd been standing there, it felt like fucking 60 seconds, but it must have been only about 8 because I'd put someone down. But someone must have just got the resupply that was available, 15 seconds earlier. So then that whole run in and try and get resupplied was sort of a waste of time. But it did add a completely different layer to the game, because as soon as your medic dies, and if you're in a bit of strife, you can run down there and get that first lives resupply. And if your team's getting shit on, that might be the difference between you staying alive and potentially not getting eliminated. And then, of course, if someone's trying to take advantage of that, do you start defending that so people can't? Or are you wasting time not hunting them because they're not coming back because they think it's pointless? There's all these new things you have to consider when that's actually activated. And of course, if the ammo and the medic are both dead, you get a double.
Oh,
right?
true.
So I had to take advantage of that a little bit last week because we've only had it for 2 weeks. And I was scout, so I managed to get in there and get 2 or 3 doubles while my resupply was dead, I think. And that was enough to, survive the rest of the game and not get eliminated.
I think Andrew mentioned that in the chat last week.
Yeah, so again, it adds that dimension of, do you leave someone on the other team to just soak up those resupplies so somebody else can't get them, but then they're not actively doing anything productive, So there's a bit of it messes up the whole strategy you're used to. And you might only need one. You might be having an awesome game and your medics just died, but you're a little bit low, so you go get some lives and go away. But if someone's just got it and you've shown up and you've got to wait 29 seconds to get it, well, is it worth it? So yeah, it's hard to.
So under the blue tower, is it localized to just in that little cubby, or can it get you from like?
No, it's not. Russell asked if you have to shoot the beacon to get the shots. No, it's automatic. So I actually brought it up with Chris. Like if someone actually ran in around that, not that everyone knows the prison field, but you run around the corner and you can hide up against the wall. If someone's nuking in there, and my ammo or medic's dead, and I'm running in to cancel the nuke, I might get resupplied. And that's what I was like. Well, I'd rather shoot it, but then.
Or can your nuke be canceled by it if you're running in there?
Oh yeah, you'd get resupplied.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
For sure,
That
for
sounds like a
sure.
real shit sandwich.
Okay,
Well,
so it's a proper reset, so it takes you down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're down for a normal, and that's the tricky bit. Like, you don't know if the person that's standing underneath it just got resupplied or someone
Right.
shot them. So then, if you run in and try and snag the resupply off them, maybe they're waiting and they just got shot by someone. Like, you just don't know, and you're literally rolling the dice. And if you've tried several times to get resupplied and you don't get one, well, how many lives and shots have you just wasted trying to get it? And was it worth it? Should you have just hidden to try and survive? So my initial thoughts were, how dare we change Space Marines 5? How dare we even consider touching this game? But then, we're doing randomized games. They're not. Hopefully, Chris doesn't listen to this. They're not always completely balanced. Sometimes they're a little bit off, depending if we've got a new player who's come back and they've had level decay or something like that, and it's a bit of a blowout. Well, I love it. Like, because usually if I have a bad game, which is happening more often these days, I'm in a bit of trouble. So my team might need extra resupply, and if your team's just been stomped and your medic's dead early, well, I think it's a great idea. Whether or not I think that it'd be appropriate to play for Nats, I of course I assume there's going to be two versions, the beacon and then the normal. So it's not like it's going to change competitive play. And you'd always have that option of playing the normal one, which I think would be how it should be for tournaments. But if you've just got a style,
that's kind of what I brought up last week, Rusty, was the idea of that could be an interesting wrinkle for like maybe one of your guys' league seasons or something like that. That, hey, this season we're going to play the version with the beacon, and that if you guys kind of change things up by seasons, like, I mean, lots of different video games, StarCraft, okay, Grumpy Steve, we get it. Like StarCraft, Diablo, all these other games, they have like some little wrinkle introduced for different seasons of play and stuff like that, but you still have the kind of base game that's contained there. So maybe for competitive play, I wouldn't want to just jump into a Nats and have that on. But if I were playing leagues constantly, that would be nice. Like, I wouldn't mind if something got a little bit tinkered with each season to say, hey, this season we're also going to add this little wrinkle to the way that play goes. What are your feelings about that?
Oh, look, I think it's going to add a different dynamic, like I said, every game you play, because it's going to come down to risk versus reward. And when people get better at trying to understand when to get it and how to get it, and maybe how to defend it, by having an appropriate person defend it, like, you wouldn't want your commander sitting there, but maybe you can just have a scout soaking up those resupplies if you've got a resupply dead, so that you can take that away from the other team. But that could also backfire. Like I said, you might not be able to eliminate people quick enough if you just sit there and wait for resupplies. But it felt bad. I was playing. I think I also used it in one of my heavy games, and like, as heavy, I was just sitting there, and someone must have just got it. Like, I wasted a shitload of time just waiting for a resupply. So that felt really bad. I could have been doing something else. So again, was it worth it? I think so. I think we lived that particular game as well. But I think it holds adds a totally different dynamic to it, which I'm not against. Like, I think for a randomized league season that we would probably end up doing just for flexibility, it'd mix it up for sure. And then, of course, we have the option of just going back to normal anyway. And we had rounds. Our last season, we split it into rounds with a MVP handicap. Thank you for the stats guide for helping us sort that out. But you could do a block with it on and a block with it off. It wouldn't. Yeah, look, I think it's just Chris. We wouldn't be having this conversation without Chris actually pondering and thinking about, is there something you can slide into the game that can potentially change the way it plays? And we've all had some ridiculous ideas in the past. Jared wants payback for heavy, and other people want, you get 50 special points, and you can pull it and it'll cancel the commander's nuke. I'm like, fuck all that shit. Well, this one actually creates a new strategy for your team to potentially not get eliminated.
Sure.
And it doesn't come down to a new ability for any of the classes, which, did we ever think of that idea? No, no, we don't. And that's why I like the way Chris has thought about this, because he could just change that to 25 seconds, and that changes the whole thing again.
Right. And I mean, prior to what was it, Gen 7 that Beacons first came in? It was before Gen 8, right?
I don't think so.
I wasn't playing enough standard games to know when all that stuff came in.
Yeah. But in any case, stuff like that and radiation storms and all that, it just wasn't really...
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't really something that we had the capability of doing, but with those things like proximity sensors for radiation storms you use in standard games, it opens up a lot more possibilities of things that you can do.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I can't remember who asked the question on the chat. If you don't have enough people to play a full game of Space Marines, could you set it up and use the beacon as resupply? And he said, yeah, you could, because you can obviously change the timing of the resupply. But then I was thinking about that, and it's like, if you only had one beacon that could resupply everything, maybe you have two beacons, maybe you have one on red and one on green, and it's a minute cooldown or something. So you've got some sort of resupply. But if you only had one resupply spot, you'd have everyone just running in every 30 seconds to try and get resupplied. It would be a shit show. But I'm sure, there's a way that if there was a couple of different spots with maybe a much more extended resupply option, maybe you could play a game without resupply, because it would just kick off with Scouts, Commander, and Heavy.
Which would be kind of cool, if you were in the position. So how smaller you asked the question. And, if you were playing a regular members night where you were getting, 8 players turn up, it means that you could play Space Marines, or you could play SM5 that wasn't, resup and 3 hits or whatever. You could still have it as more of an attacking game. Ducky brought up the point, but it's not player driven, and that's kind of my issue with it. In the past where so for Zone's whole thing is that it's kind of about base defense, and their competition play seems kind of static and stagnant, and that's kind of what what resets, us having resets avoids that from happening. It avoids people kind of camping out in the area and just pop shot around a corner and yada yada yada. To me, having a beacon do that in a game is a step back towards static play. I mean, that's kind of how without playing it, that's kind of how I feel about it. Is that kind of, is that off, or?
Look, I've never played Zone, right? Right. I'm true to Laser Force. No, because if your team keeps your resupply alive, it's not active for you, right? So you've still got that incentive to smash the other team, kill them as quickly as possible. And maybe you leave a scout, like I said, floating around, and it could be upstairs. You don't need to necessarily have someone downstairs, and you can still play the same way, really aggressively to try and kill the resupply. I don't think you're ever going to find, especially where the beacon is itself. You can't sit there and you can't do a totem pole. You can't. There is literally no way you can set up some sort of turtle defense to all just soak the resupply. It's just not possible. So maybe in a particular field where the beacon was in a really defensible position, I could probably see that potentially happening, where you send your whole team in there and everyone just takes turns and you do a wall and everyone gets lives and you can't eliminate them. I'd be completely against that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And I hadn't actually thought about it because of the prime location that this beacon's in. You can get shot from downstairs, upstairs, through the little grate on the blue ramp,
directly above you, right?
Through, you're literally in and out to get that.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have any type of turtling. And like I said, it'd come down to how bad you've messed up the other team. And what sort of resources did you want to leave to defend it? Because look, if a commander runs in and gets a double, it's a double. It's not like he's gone back to, or she's gone back to 30 lives.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. It'll delay the game slightly, and maybe that ends up being that one extra life that they need to survive. But if you're getting hunted and you need to get through an entire team to get to the beacon to get resupply, you probably deserve it.
Yeah, yeah.
I will tell you, there was that one game. I think people know which game I'm talking about in the last Utah tournament. If I could have just had 5 more shots one time in one of those games, it feel like it could have been so much better. So I sure could have used it at that moment.
Yeah, and that. So yeah, you raise a good point. If that beacon was in a very defensible position, I think it'd be dumb.
Yeah, right. And that's the case, right? So like, arenas aren't the same. Like if you, I don't know, there's a couple of spots where our beacons are in Auckland where you couldn't hold that position. So really, if you were running past, you might get resupplied, and that would be sweet. But yeah, I suppose if they put it in an area that was like defendable, then yeah, I'm not sure how I feel completely about that. One thing that I thought would be kind of cool, because you have the screen. Is that beacon one with a screen? It is, right?
Yes.
Does it display anything on the screen?
Not from memory. No, I was so bad at all the beacon stuff. Like,
it probably just has this.
Yeah, I think it just has that. And when Chris said you can't shoot it, I didn't give a shit what it said. I don't. If I can't shoot it, I don't care. But yeah,
Are you sure you're not American?
So it'd be amazing, like, not American, amazing. It'd be kind of interesting. So if it's gonna resupply you, it might as well tell you who on the opposition resup is dead.
On the opposition resupply.
Well, no, whoever, like, if the resup is dead, it gives you the list of which resupplies are dead.
It tells you. Anyway.
What
remember?
does?
Not the opposite team, but it tells you on your own team who's dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm talking more from like a
strategy perspective.
Yeah, attacking perspective. That would be kind of cool. Give me all the advantage I could get.
Yeah, look, if they're downstairs and it's 8-9 minutes into a game, the medic's probably almost dead.
Yeah,
sometimes. But I think that'd be too much info. I actually thought it was going to be too much info knowing when my own ammo medic died. But right. It's actually really helpful.
It's rival.
Because now I know when they're dead, I'm going straight to the beacon. Not necessarily. But that's what I mean. Like,
before anybody else does.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I could be on the other side of the field, and is it really worth me running all the way back to get just some lives, or has somebody already taking it and I'm now wasting 45 seconds? That's a lot of time.
It is.
To be fucking around not shooting people. And that has a significant impact on the overall ability to eliminate and also score points, of course.
But that's that's in your guys' arena, which is basically a small township. If you're playing in like Auckland, it takes like what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds to run from one side to the other.
It's a little trickier now that we've got mini golf under the under the helm, so you can't cut through. You can only run through the front of, or I guess it's the back of the engine room now, where the front corridor is to go into the prison. Yeah. And upstairs. And if you go upstairs, then you have to run all the way downstairs around under the beacon. So, look, I just realised how unfit I am playing the new game and playing this game, so I had to get back on the treadmill.
Don't even say treadmill to me.
Well, what a great segue. What is this other new game that you're alluding to? Because we want to hear about that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So it's basically soccer, right? Is the simplest way to think about it. How do I explain so for those that have been to Brisbane, you walk in. There's no more airlock anymore, but there's the green ramp. So Chris has put essentially a beacon or a pack or a target on that wall.
On the left as you walk in.
No, on the right. So
Oh.
to shoot this, you'd have to run either all the way across the green floor.
Yeah.
Around to head towards the left towards the green corridor, and it's on that left-hand side wall. So that's essentially the goal, right? And then if you go on the other side of the field, almost directly across the bottom of the red ramp, tucked up against that wall is the red goal, right? So those are the goals. That's where you start the round, and that's where you essentially need to shoot to score a goal. Does it like? So, are you trying to picture where it's in the field?
No. Just trying to picture so the idea is that you run and you shoot the base.
So at the start of the round, everybody. So it's red and green or red and blue, depending on what color you want to talk about. Everybody has to shoot their own base or target or goal to activate, right? So the reason for that is if you score a goal, this is actually the period of the game where I'm like, holy fuck, I am so unfit. Because if I'm on the other side trying to score a goal or attack or something, and we score or the other team scores, you have to go back to your goal to shoot it to reactivate to play.
Oh, so if you score, then you or is it if anyone scores, everyone DX?
If anyone scores, it doesn't matter where you are in the field. You have to go back to your goal, and you have to shoot it. So I think he said it's 10 seconds. So you have to run back, and if you don't shoot the target, it's like you're not activated.
Right.
You can't be shot and you can't shoot. And obviously the reason for that is so you have to go back to your starting point.
So you can't goal camp, yeah.
Yeah. So if you are literally on the other side of the field, you have to run all the way back to shoot it to reactivate.
This guy's back.
There's no ball. You don't have to be a player who has the ball.
Yeah. So I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. So when you, I forget the first round, I think it's random who gets it, but your lights are flashing like you're nuking. It's completely obvious, right? So if you're red and you've got the ball, you can shoot anybody on your own team to pass it. Right, so I could be at the start of red, and if I can see you down at the end of the teleporter, and I shoot my own team, I will pass you the ball. Right, and then you start flashing. So there's 4 things you can do. You can score goals, you can pass, you can steal, and you can assist. So you can obviously pass the ball and they'll score. Now to steal the ball, it's as simple as shooting the other team's player that has the ball.
Right,
and then you get the ball just once. So you put them down once, and you can shoot anyone on the other team once, and it's normal. I think it's normal 8 seconds. So if you put somebody down who's trying to defend and someone's got the ball on your team, they can literally just run in and run past them and score.
Right.
So there's a guy called Basil in our field. Even in my peak, he's probably still twice as fast as me, and he is a machine because as soon as people get shot, he just runs in, scores. He's so quick.
Yeah,
there's just no chance to stop him. So yeah, the way it sort of works is you can steal the ball, you can pass the ball, and the 4 stats are scoring a goal, passing. Now the passing in particular, it's quite frustrating because I my accuracy sucks on a good day. So sometimes I'll just go a little bit hammo spammo, and you're coming around a corner. And last week actually, I'm trying to shoot someone on the other team, and Traj is standing there, and I went to shoot the dudes, just to the left of Peter, and I passed the ball to Peter, who's literally standing right in front of me. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to shoot the other guy, so I passed the ball. And I don't even know if Peter was up at the time, so it was confusing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to suggest maybe to pass the ball, it's the start of a missile lock or something, just like a D, and then it'll pass it.
What about the special button?
I don't know. Hey, that's another idea. Just something more deliberate than shooting at once.
Well, because that would if you ever use scatter shot, it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that might be a really good idea. If you're watching, I think that's a good idea.
He's not
We're solving problems here on the resupply.
but just something more deliberate because this didn't bode well for someone who just doesn't give a shit about accuracy and passed the ball accidentally. And like I probably got scored one week, and I shot a person, and I turned around to shoot somebody else, and they were standing there, someone on my team, and I passed them the fucking ball, and then I didn't have it anymore, and I'm about to run past the goal. So yeah, stuff like that had happened. A steal. So if you shoot the other team's player who's got the ball, you take the ball straight away.
Yeah.
And that's counted as a steal. And then, of course, if you pass and someone scores, you get an assist for that. Now, selfishly or unselfishly, I thought there should be a stat for a hit, like a defender or a tackle or something. Because if you don't score a goal, you don't pass it, you don't steal it, you don't get an assist, you'll come out with 0, 0, 0, 0. and it feels bad if you've shot a gazillion people and you've sort of cleared the way for people to get in, or you've stopped people, not necessarily with the ball, but other people from pushing in. And JFK actually suggested it to Chris, unbeknownst to me. So I wasn't the only person that was like, "Oh, there needs to be some sort of other tangible stat at the end of this, so people feel like they've contributed to the game." I suppose. But yeah,
this is the great debate about intangibles in sports, right? If you're not the glory scorer, you can still be a very valuable contributor, but not show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, so I thought that would have been, Chris would have loved that idea, but I don't think he does. So I'm not sure where it's going to go.
If you just call them like downs or something, or whatever, like you got 50 downs or something.
Yeah, so you essentially contributed in a different way. So there's a couple of parts in the field where I feel like you can just keep people down and stop them from attacking or pushing through, or potentially set up a nice run for someone to score a goal and clear the way through for someone. But yeah, and if you don't shoot anyone with the ball or pass it or get in a you walk out with 0, and you'll hit your gun and it says 0. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'm exhausted.
I had a mean game.
A team win. It's a team sport.
I'm about to die here. I had to run back to and like we've been shit on a few times because if Basil's on the other team, he just so fast because you're waiting for someone to do something upstairs maybe.
Yeah.
And he's just run underneath, and everyone just happens to be down. And the helm's huge to pass the ball, so you can't score from the helm because the target's right up against the wall. But you could pass to someone down on the ramp who can shoot the wall and score. So they had a really good strategy where they just basically took over upstairs. So you're all paying attention up there, and then of course someone runs down underneath and just scores while everyone's trying to stop people from passing the ball from the helm. So look, the concept is really interesting.
It sounds kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. And there's.
I feel like Scythe should enter the chat now. Soccer plus laser tag. I think he's in.
Well, we were trying to work on a strategy on Monday where, for those that have been to Brisbane, from the bilge down the green corridor, that's a long pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually passed it to Traj, I think, and he scored. And I, passed it from essentially the bilge because he ran all the way down there and got to the end, and I passed it, and he managed to run and score. I think he put down the person that was defending there. But to get to that point, like, you got to hope that no one spots you. And if someone's upstairs and they shoot you, well, they've got the ball and now it's upstairs. And if they run to the helm and someone's downstairs on the red ramp and they're up, well, they score. So that's how quickly the game can change.
So how many players on a side are you typically playing with?
It's the first couple of games of the night that we play. So I think we usually try and kick off when we've got 12. I mean, this is the thing. You could play with 2 on each team. Yeah. Like
you could, but I'm sure there's got to be like a sweet spot, so it's not just absolute chaos.
Well, look, I think probably 6 on 6 is okay. I mean, as you know, our field's pretty big, but when you've got so many people looking at the same spots, you've really just got to hope everyone that is defending has been put down by your team. Because if someone shoots you and they're miles away from the action, well, you don't know where the ball went. You know what I mean? You don't know who on the other team's taking the ball and where they are. So like, I guess that was the point earlier. If you're upstairs and you've got the ball, so if someone's upstairs and you've got the ball downstairs and they shoot you and take it upstairs, and if they've already run off, you don't know if someone's got the ball upstairs or downstairs. So you don't know where you to necessarily whether you go and attack or defend. Plus on the suit, it tells you if you've got the ball, if the other team's got the ball, takes it back. So you can sort of make a decision as to whether or not you do go back and defend.
That's kind of cool.
But like, yeah, so, for example, we were playing red. I was heading towards the green side and I heard we had the ball stolen. So then I went to go back and then I heard we got the ball back and I went back to sort of push to maybe get a pass and somehow they got the ball straight back and scored. So it's just like, it's interesting concept.
Yeah.
But I feel
people in chat who are saying that this is basically a zone ball, I'm pretty sure that was the intention, because I think in Laser Force's quest to overtake the zone market, the more zone products that you can market with a better emulator, the better off it will be.
Yeah. Again, I haven't played Zone, right? So I'm just all this stuff is technically new to me.
Yeah.
So I guess I can just give you the Laser Force eye from it. But if there was a more deliberate way to pass, and there was a stat for just defending or keeping people down, I think that'd be a good addition. But that's just my opinion. This isn't financial advice. To your own research.
That sounds pretty dope. Do you know if they've like pushed that out to the wider community, or is that in house?
Nah, not yet. I assume we're well, we've only tried it. Like all this stuff has happened in the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So this is all sort of hot off the press. It's not like we've been trying it for a month or two. Maybe we've been playing soccer for a week longer. Maybe it's been 3 weeks. But hey, if Chris is happy with it now, maybe it's coming out soon. If he's potentially going to take any suggestions or feedback or special button suggestions or missile lock to pass the ball suggestions on board, well, maybe we have another week or two of testing it out.
Who starts with the ball?
I think it's random the first time, but then it goes to the other team when I think if red scores, it goes to blue. So gives them a chance. It feels so bad when you like start the game and you've got the ball and they get the ball and score like in 20 seconds. I was like, I'm too tired. I've just run to the teleporter and now I have to run back. What the fuck is this?
That's right. You have to run back to restart.
You have to run back.
Right.
So
keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, there was a couple of times where I did on green side, because you got a bit more of a view, where I didn't activate straight away, so I could sort of see where everyone was running. I don't know if that's the intention of that. I'm like, there's 4 people upstairs, and then shoot it and activate, and then sort of go and have a look around. So I guess there's some sort of strategy you can employ, being untargetable at the start of the game if you've got that sort of vision. But for single level arenas like you guys, there'd be no point doing that. You need to be activated straight away, and at least with your field, it's a little bit less ramps, a bit smaller. You can get around pretty quick, so you probably can skip the treadmill.
I feel like Syracuse would be like the ideal field for this.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I fucking love Syracuse.
Yeah, me too.
Hopefully you guys have gotten rid of COVID before 2029 and I can visit before I turn fucking 80.
Before you hit your 10,000th game?
Yeah, maybe I should play my 10,000th game in Syracuse.
It'll be a worldwide event.
We can play soccer. We can play football in Syracuse.
So good. Teams of 3, 1 base, unlimited base destroys. It's hilarious. What?
I think Heathen's referring to zone game mode. Since
right.
Ian Smaller were talking about turtles and such.
Yeah, I definitely don't know anything about Zone.
You and me both,
That's
mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that Zone can do, Force can do better.
Steve just reads whatever's on the teleprompter.
I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt smells, and I like to kiss my own butt.
Go for cuck yourself, San Diego.
Sounds like you had the vaccine.
Yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. Next time we're in town.
Hey man, get that vaccine. Come on over.
Well, so like I was hopeful that there'd be some sort of trans-Tasman bubble open up so that we could.
November. This is my guess. So
Yeah.
in Australia, we're all supposed to, or majority, and of course, if people don't want to take it, they don't have to. But we should. Majority of Australians should have, and me because I'm from New Zealand, should have the vaccine by October.
Right.
And I'm assuming you guys are going to be in a similar situation.
Like, we don't have COVID. We don't need it.
Well, if you want us to come and visit, you guys will have to take it.
Absolutely.
I believe your government put out a statement, Steve, saying that until the vaccine was widely distributed in New Zealand and people from overseas could verify they had received the vaccine, that your borders would remain pretty much closed.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm guessing November.
Yeah.
October, November. So if we can organise, once we know it's hot to trot, we could do something later in the year. I'd come over. It'd be a good excuse.
Yeah, I think like people are keen to do something. I know the Oakley boys are hella keen to get over. So yeah, maybe we go back to old school, Australia, New Zealand nationals, where we have 6 teams. We play for 10 hours. Not even 10 hours. We play like 6-hour days and then.
They weren't that long back in the day, yeah.
Nah.
That's why I think we had this inflated sense of how much time we had for socials, and then all of a sudden we ended up with 10 teams, and it's like, fuck, all we're doing is playing lasers and sleeping.
Which to some is okay, but...
Yeah, I'm going to need at least another 6 months to prep for that.
Yeah.
Need to do some Iron Man training. Fucking hell.
So that means you're coming to St. George? Who? Are you talking about Russ then? Because I think
Russ is getting his vaccine. He's skipping the line.
Is he really? Is he considered essential?
He's the vaccinated masterpiece.
That's fair. Yeah, I would want a significant amount of people that I was hanging around with to have been vaccinated if I had it.
That would be preferable, but I'm like, I'll take what I can get at this point. If I can get my vaccine before the March event, I mean, obviously, I'd still mask up and still put in as many precautions as we can, but,
do you know if you can still get it if you've been vaccinated? Like, you still carry it, but... Or is it just you straight up don't get it?
I'm not an epidemiologist.
So this is science talk now.
Yeah, shit, we've wandered outside of our realm of expertise.
I am wondering, if you've got it and then you get it from someone, does it end up just being like a really bad flu? Like, does it still knock you on your ass for a week and, you just don't die?
Right.
Like, I don't... Those are the questions I've got about it. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out because, it's only been a couple of months that people have been getting it. So hopefully in 6 months' time, we'll have a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, if everyone...
This is the idea of herd immunity, everybody. If enough people get the vaccine, then we'll have enough antibodies and enough reduced community spread that will essentially, hopefully, get rid of it. If we could really have wide enough vaccine distribution that we could just kill COVID-19 altogether, wouldn't be able to survive. But, we'll see what we can do. We have a lot of dumbass people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Russ.
You said it.
I know, Russ. Don't bring your negativity in here.
Yeah, Russell. Get a fucking haircut, please.
Yeah, you smelly hippie.
Just do it.
Or don't.
Do it.
Either way.
Do it for me. Just get a haircut.
Oh,
I don't mind the long hair,
his...
but I think it's making you grumpy.
it's sad. It's like Tobias sapping all of like the joy out of his body. Just right on. Was there anything else with those games? I don't like it.
We know you're grumpy, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, mate, I didn't like it at the start either.
Yeah. But
it's growing on me.
Yeah.
And hey, as long as we've still got the option to play normal SM5 when needed,
exactly.
What more could you want?
True.
Don't change the default setting, but if there are variants you can put in. Well, because the analogy that I made is you guys ran. Did you do 1 or 2 seasons where you were running 7-on-7 with 2 ammos?
I think we've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, because to me, that's not real SM5 either. That's a totally different game.
Well, yeah, we did that. We did a 7-on-7 2 ammos where we had fixed teams, and then we did it. I don't know if we did it with the randomizer yet, because it generally will give you 3 scouts and not 2 ammos on a 7-player. No, yeah, I think the last one we did, we had 3 ammos. Sorry, 3 scouts, not 2 ammos. So I think
Yeah,
we've always.
I think you're right with the randomizer. I don't think it gives you 2 ammos until you get to 8.
I'm sure we
Maybe
could
you don't.
ask Laser Force Guide to change that if we wanted to play with
If
a
we needed to.
spammo. But look, again, it just that one extra position changes the game a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
makes it a lot more
exactly.
aggressive. And yeah, look, the fundamentals I was always against changing, but like I said, he hasn't changed an ability. He hasn't made a position better or worse. It's just added another dynamic to potentially either staying alive, or if you have one of those games where your ammo dies early, it's not game over yet. You know, sure, you might still lose if you do ultimately run out of shots, but at least you have an option of getting some more, which everyone's lost an ammo early at one point or another in their Laser Force career, and it's literally actually the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
I'd rather my fucking medic died and I have
absolutely.
60 shots. So at least I can go somewhere and set up shop, my little own solo totem pole. But having no shots feels bad. I hate giving away points. I hate getting shot, unless it's for a good cause. But having no shots and getting shot, it's fucked. I hate it.
Whoa, Emo Wolf with the gift subs. Emo Wolf just gift sub 5 subs. Thank you very much.
I think
Emo
after
Wolf.
it got mentioned that there hadn't been anybody who gave out gift subs, it's like, okay, well, I guess it's time.
Yeah, something's about to happen. Appreciate it, man. It's awesome. I think yeah, I'm adverse to change, because I don't know, grumpy old man or something. But
Dinosaur.
yeah, I do like that they are still innovating, or trying to make things better, or adding new stuff to the game, because I don't know, it seemed that like for a long time that nothing really was changing from a game perspective, just even in general. And then Gen 8, they released Gen 8, and they have put a bunch of work into a whole bunch of new games that, like, I don't know, it shows progression, which is nice. It shows a care for wanting to still be relevant, or to add new stuff, add new flavors, which is cool.
100%. I mean, everyone was a bit weird about the randomizer at the start. I couldn't even imagine trying to get positions matched now, and how long that used to take, and how much time we would waste. It's so good. 14 people picked this. Actually, no, Chris has changed it now where you can touch screen, slide everyone into a team, auto log them, and if once they know who's playing the next block, we're on in like 60 seconds, and a couple of minutes max, and we're back in. Like, it's actually really, really good from a time perspective, and more often than not, they're pretty balanced. But sometimes there's a shit show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also like the fact that we're it's being thought about and trying to improve it, or potentially mix things up.
Yeah. Because we seemingly went a long time without anything new, right? Like, I can't remember.
Ghost Marines 5 hasn't changed since it was created, as far as I'm aware.
But even just the general games, like,
we get new games like at least every couple of years. Now I think it's getting a little bit faster.
Yeah, I mean, they've released like a dozen new games in the last like 2 years.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think when I got started. Since then, new games have been added, like Shadows, Dead Aim, Deathmatch. None of that existed when I first started playing. Fugitive, I think, had just come out, or was just about to come out, like when I came in. Time
Warp.
Time Warp was around when I started, but I think that might have been relatively new. I think that was like just in the software version when Sacramento first got it. But In any case, like we've gotten stuff every couple of years.
Like,
but
maybe
yeah,
one
we've definitely
game.
we've gotten more stuff. We've gotten more stuff since Gen 8 came out. But that's again because of so many new capabilities with the touchscreen, with the beacons, with proximity stuff from Radiation Storm. There's just so many more things that you can do. And like I think all three of us would agree on this podcast, like SM5 is perfect. You don't need to mess with the base game at all. But I mean, you never know when we're going to come up with some new game using all these abilities that we're just like, oh, wow, this is also really fun.
Mm.
It may not be a replacement for Space Marines, but you do different things now and again. Keeps it fresh.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, without Gen 8 and the beacons, this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's nice to see that it's been implemented. And look, again, I don't think you can ever change a class in Space Marines. I just don't think
it would be too different of a game.
So this is I think this is the next best thing. You know, and it changes the strategy, gives a team that's being shit on and might get eliminated a way out. And you know, that strategy changes on how badly you want to deprive them of that option.
Someone asked, Russ asked, what was the alt new game before Color Conquest? I have no idea. Couldn't even tell you. Like,
we probably tested it, but I don't remember.
Like the only kind of newish games that I can recall were like Evolution or like, that's kind of it. Evolution and maybe Frantic, and both of those just seemed kind of like player mod games rather than like legit Laser Force games. Yeah,
I mean, granted, I had a hiatus between like 2004 and 2008. It might have been Zombies. I think later might be right. Yeah, right. Zombies was relatively new when it came back in 08. D&D came out in what, 01 or 02? Because we played it in the 2002 Nats that you were here, Rusty. I remember that.
Smalley was asking for, I think it was Smalley asking for D&D stats on the gun.
We haven't played D&D forever.
Well, there's something else you can just nudge Chris about when you see him.
Like, hey, can you just add some, like, I don't know, spell books to the touchscreen?
It feels so good to play mage and time stop, and it feels so bad to play against a mage when they time stop.
Oh yeah,
it's just like the best fuck you class on both sides.
That's the one highlight of my career I'm going to hold on to is time stopping against Rusty's team in 2002. But that was a long time ago.
I actually don't remember playing D&D in 2002.
Yeah, because you didn't get to have that glory moment. But for me, it was like the only highlight of the week. So
we used to play a lot of D&D when it first came out. And then I think we did a little mini D&D season at one point in Brisbane after I just moved there. But then it's just been Space Marines since then. I'm a Space Marine stub now. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, bro, like we've got a site full of them. People like, we're not playing space. Sweet, we're gonna sit out.
Yeah.
We don't need to play this next game. We'll just have a break. Well, okay, but we can't play if you don't. So I can't play against myself.
Think of the poor, starving DKs in California.
Exactly.
You selfish twats.
You take nothing for granted. You might not always have a laser tag to play.
Exactly right.
That goes for everybody. So you got to make the most of it.
Was there anything else that we want to touch on today? What were we talking about beforehand?
Beforehand?
Before
which bit?
There was a few things, wasn't there?
Probably. I think some of those were off the air discussions that we needed. Yeah,
not necessarily Laser Force related, but if you haven't already got on board NBATopShot.com, get your fixin', bro.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. We didn't have much luck this week, which is a shame. But I pulled a LeBron last week, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold on to that.
Yeah, hold on to that. It's only ever gonna go up in value.
I think maybe we should just take it as a win that we had a nice discussion on a concise topic in 75 minutes. I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think it's pretty good. You want to hear Rusty's take on the filibuster? What filibuster?
Fix American politics, Rusty. What are we
Hard
doing?
pass.
Oh.
A big old hard pass. Fuck that. Make your own one.
To Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah.
That seems like good advice. All right,
Problem
you heard it here
problem
first, folks.
solved.
Thanks, bro, for coming on. Like, we always thoroughly enjoy having a yarn with you. Yeah.
Yeah, good to chat, guys. It's been a little while.
It has been. I think like maybe even did we talk at all last year? Maybe once at the start of the year. Maybe.
Oh, when we're all like booking our holidays and trips to New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Sad times.
Yeah, fucking A. But then,
United Airlines owes me a lot of money.
Fuck Airbnb. Air New Zealand still owes me money. Yeah, we spoke about that. We booked. That's the crazy thing. We booked in March. Think about that.
Last year.
Last year. We just had no fucking idea what was coming.
Yeah, the Oakley boys were the same.
The whole world was naive about what was about to happen. New Zealand said, "Fuck you, you can't come."
Yeah, later, brah. But I'm from there. Yeah, it was rough, dude. But yeah, man, like keen as to have you on and have another yarn soon.
Cool. Well, I'll obviously keep you posted if there's stuff that is potentially new that I'm allowed to talk about.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Before Chris finds out where I live and tries to burn my house down.
He's like, "You signed the NDA, motherfucker."
You know what? Yeah, I'd never do the wrong thing. In that respect. So, but no, guys, good to chat.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you.
And hopefully, good luck with your vaccines, guys, and hopefully we'll get to see you in person some point this year.
I can't wait.
Mainly you. I don't think DK can come. But,
nah. Well,
I'd like you to come. Don't take that the wrong way.
No. I understand. I'm hoping 2022 we'll be able to make it in New Zealand, but I think 2021 is too optimistic.
Yeah, we'll see.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. We'll hold our hope, but we'll be realistic about it. But for this week, I've been GuyNextDoor.
I've been DK.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week.
And hold your gun up.
Hold your gun up. Fucking buy travel insurance and shit.
Hold your gun up. If you want to watch D&D, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Oh, yeah. Right. Come join us for D&D tomorrow. It's going to be fun as shit. All right. Peace.
Night all.